What is the caste system? For thousands of years on the Indian subcontinent, a person's social class was determined by birth. Historians later called this the caste system. Caste members lived, ate, married, and worked with their own group. A person born into one caste rarely changed castes or mixed with members of other castes. Social rules defined how to behave within a caste and when in the presence of people from another caste. Here is the caste pyramid. Each caste had a clearly defined role. Members of each caste were obligated to look after one another, so each caste had its own support system. At the top of the caste system were the Brahmin. The Brahmin were priests, teachers, and judges. Brahmin were the only people who could perform religious ceremonies. The Brahmin often lived apart from the rest of society in temples. Many spent their time in contemplation and meditation. Brahmin are the highest in the social pyramid. Next, below the Brahmin were the Kshatriya. The Kshatriya were the warrior caste who made everyday decisions and ran the government and army. Rulers of towns and cities mostly came from the Kshatriya caste. The Kshatriya had most of the power in everyday life, but their decisions could be overruled by the Brahmin. Next we have Vaishyas. The Vaishyas were the commoners. They were skilled farmers, craftsmen, and merchants. They occasionally had leadership positions in local villages. Even though they were 3 down on the social scale, they still had good clothes and ample food. They might not be the top leaders, but they were certainly a respected part of society. They usually lived in very nice houses. Next we have Sudra. The unskilled workers were of the Sudras caste. Members of the Sudras caste often worked on the farms or in a home or business of the people of higher castes. Many Brahmin priests believed contact with lower castes would contaminate their souls. Vedic prayers were considered so pure that they could not be recited or even heard by a person of a lower caste. One Indian law stated that if a Sudra was caught listening to the Vedas, molten lead would be poured into his ears. Now we have untouchables. Foreigners, lawbreakers, people from isolated tribes, and people suffering from contagious diseases lived outside the caste system. These untouchables, or outcasts, as in out of caste, were traditionally regarded as unsuitable for personal relations with people who belonged to a caste. Untouchables were hired to do work that members of the caste system would not do. These jobs included killing or disposing of dead cattle or working with their hides. The untouchables also worked as sweepers, washers, or in other jobs that required contact with human emissions, such as sweat, urine, and so on. It is because of this that untouchables were sometimes referred to as chandalas, which is Sanskrit for someone who deals with the disposal of dead bodies. Untouchables were often forbidden to enter temples, schools, and wells where caste members drew water. In some parts of India, even the sight of untouchables was thought to be polluting. The untouchables were often forced to sleep during the day and work at night. If your parent was an untouchable, so were you. Untouchables could not move up or marry out of their social rank.